Okay, so I'm going to use my GoWise air fryer, to do a Brazilian style roast or thin roast. You can use a flat steak, you could use brown, you could use chicken, whatever you prefer, pork. It's easiest to do if it's no more than about that thick, if you're going to do the style I'm going to do, which is similar to a skewer. I'm going to use some rotisserie pieces here, and we're going to put it on. I did, because the rotisserie on the GoWise is not sharp. See that? Not sharp at all. So what I had to do was I pre-cut holes and put them on here so that I can skewer it. I started way up here, the top. You want to be up here, and you're going to go about 2 inches apart, and end as close to the tip as possible so that you don't end up with floppy pieces flopping around and getting overly crispy. So the seasoning that you see on here, I first sprayed it with some good spray. It's an oil-based spray. As you can see, it has only soybean oil and soy products and a propellant, of course, to get it out of the machine. All right. So what I did was I put a mix of seasonings in. It's just dry. So it has about a tablespoon of Slap Your Mama dry seasoning. It's saying spicy, so be careful with that. I put about a tablespoon or maybe 2 tablespoons of the Adobe seasoning. It smells really delicious, so I'd like to try that in there. I put about a tablespoon of garlic powder and about 2 tablespoons of this prime rib rub. I mixed them up really good. I sprinkled it on the meat, patted it in, made sure I got it in all the grain grooves that are on this beautiful piece of meat here. This happens to be a piece of prime rib roast that was cut, so I got a really good deal on today, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this for just a second and get the skewer. Okay, so here we are. So I know where my holes are up here. So I'm gonna, it's easier to see on this side. So, find my hole there, pierced already. And I'm gonna just back and forth, just like you would for a shish kebab. Find it. It's like finding a piercing here. Might be easier to start from the other side. Let's do that. There we go. Alright. Continuing on down. And I just keep feeding it on. Okay, and then I end here, this very last spot. There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and, before I stretch it out or anything, I'm going to go ahead and get my end piece on. Okay, so if you notice, I've got this on one side. So I'm going to put this on the other side of that skewer so that it kind of... Please pause. So, now that I washed it off again, okay, start again. Alright, so we've got this on one side, so we're going to put this facing the opposite side. I'm not worried about balancing my meat yet because I'm just going to get it on there. Get it locked into place, tighten it up. Both sides are tight with a thumb screw. So now I don't want my meat all touching too tight like that because it won't cook in the middle. So I'm going to slide it out here on that skewer. I'm going to do the same, careful because your skewers are sharp. The little prongs here. So I'm going to spread out my meat here. So I spread it out nice and done like this. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is, I don't want this extra flap here that's kind of hanging off the sides. I don't need to tie it because I don't think it's going to touch the bottom. But we're going to go ahead and look at it real quick and make sure. So I'm just going to stick it in the hole, put it here, and check out my bottom. It's good. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay. I found that I need to move this down just a little bit more. Didn't leave myself enough room for it to actually go in. There we go. So, okay, so I have my roast in the, well, my Brazilian meat style flank there in the GoWise fryer. I've added 2 potatoes that I basically sprayed with an olive oil, rubbed down with salt, and just set them down in there. I didn't do anything special with them. So I did take a fork and poked holes in both potatoes to allow the moisture inside to escape and the steam inside to escape. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut my lid and we will program. One moment. Okay, so I have pressed my little side button there to release my lid. I'm going to shut down the lid. And our options up here are roast and, of course, bake and several others, fry, stir fry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press roast. Okay, and roast will automatically turn on the rotisserie. Now, if I want to delay, I would hit delay, but I'm going to just leave it alone. It'll start here in a second. There it goes. So it says 390 for 29 minutes, basically 30 minutes. So I'm going to let that do its thing, and we will be back in 30 minutes. Down to 3 minutes, and that looks beautiful, like a wonderful piece of Brazilian style meat. I cut a piece off to taste it. It's phenomenal. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead and shut off the rotate because I'm going to say it's done. We're going to serve this up. Alright, so all you have to do is lift the lid. We'll shut off. You see, it's doing fantastic here. My potatoes look good. Let's poke them with a fork. Crispy on the outside. Feels done on the inside. Both potatoes. Alright, so now we're going to get this bad boy out. Let's get a plate first. Okay, now I have a plate. So I own what is called an oven glove. So I'm going to use my oven glove to remove this. You could use tongs, which is fine too. See, it's rather easy. I have a pair of cute little tongs here. Just grab a hold of the meat, pull it out, done. Okay, I'm going to use my oven gloves because it's easier to undo this hot screw here, and I don't burn myself. So, right back. Okay, so I took off the tongue at the end. So now my meat is on my skewer. So I'm going to grab it at this end, and I'm going to pull that off. So that is one beautiful piece of meat. I just slipped it right off. So it's done. Take off my oven glove here. Alright, so let's cut this piece of meat open. Okay, so cutting a meat. Now with Brazilian style meat, you would leave it on the skewer and cut pieces off of it. Okay, so I've cut it open. Look at this beautiful, juicy steak. Look at this. Not like bloody or... That is juice. That is one beautiful steak. I'm going to cut it here. A little hard to do when you're doing it with 2 different people. There we go. Okay, I'm going to let my husband taste this piece. Wonderful looking, delicious looking meat.
That's really good.
All right.
Really juicy, great flavor.
All right, well, we're eating dinner.